time once again. Oh, yeah. All right, let's set this up here. We pretty much got everything good to go. We're going to start in about 45 seconds or less, okay? I made sure I got in front of this bad boy an extra couple of minutes early for y'all, so we definitely going to be rocking a lot better tonight, I promise y'all. All right? Yeah, we pretty much got everything ready to go. All right, y'all, we're going to start in about 15 seconds, okay? We're going to start in about 15 seconds. Just want to upload a thumbnail real quick. And we pretty much got this. All right, guys, let's do it.
Warning, the RCWR show with Lee Sanders is intended for a mature audience only. The following is an Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive. Covering the latest in wrestling and beyond since 2011. You're listening to the RCWR show. Now, your host, live from the nation's capital in Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
And a very good Monday night, February 1st, 2021. You're checking out the RCWR show. Lee Sanders here, covering all things wrestling, entertainment, and beyond since 2011. A couple of minutes removed from a Monday Night Raw on the USA Network. What did you guys think about Raw, man? Because officially, here we are. We are now officially on the road to WrestleMania. So what did you guys think of the way things kicked off for this first Raw post-Royal Rumble? Let me know what you think about it. And, you know, something that we'll definitely touch upon, we'll expand upon it a little bit more, Edge winning the Rumble. You know, I think that was probably the one thing that we could have really went in depth on, because there's a lot of layers to it, but I definitely want to revisit that, just that portion from the Royal Rumble. But yeah, solid show that we got for you guys tonight. Of course, we're definitely going to be reacting to the news for the first time of Dustin Diamond, the man you all know better as Screech from Saved by the Bell, passing away at the age of 44. He was dealing with a serious form of cancer. I'll definitely sound off my thoughts on that and a lot more. So remember how we're doing the Monday night shows from here on now. And I'll probably be saying this just maybe a couple of more times, stretched across 2 shows for probably the next 2 weeks, just so everybody's kind of caught up to speed and everything. So for those of you that remember the news from last week, kudos to you. But this is mainly more for, you know, those that might just be casually coming in and, you know, maybe they didn't check out last week's crop of shows that we put out there. But our new format for Monday nights now going forward, we're pretty much just going to be doing about 45 minutes to an hour max, and then that's it. That's pretty much it. And that's because I'm now going back to school. Went into effect last week. Great fun homework assignments that I had too, by the way. Just a load of fun, and I sincerely mean it. It was a load of fun, but nothing was more, hey, all right, now brother, off to a solid ass good start, than when your professor goes out of their way to let you know, hey, love how you did this, love how you did that, love, you know. So it kind of follows up on something that my girl had said to me just a couple of weeks before I went back. I told her how I had concerns about how well I was going to be able to pick things up and everything. And she pretty much was like, boy, you being silly. You know damn well, as smart as you are, when you don't know something, you're very quick to research it. You know, you got this. Don't doubt yourself. But, you know, sometimes it's, for me, the whole self-doubt kind of kicked in there. It's because, like, man, I haven't been back to school in, like, over 20 years. So, you know, it's kind of like, you know, I feel like Rodney Dangerfield so to speak, in one of my all-time favorite movies that he was in, and going back to school and shit. So I kind of feel like that, but it was nice getting the jitterbugs out of the way. Whatever butterflies I had, whatever nerves that might have been unsettling, everything pretty much had got squashed last week. And furthermore, just to get that validation from my professor really going out of their way to, and I didn't even have any type of side conversations with them. That's the funny part. No side conversations with them whatsoever. And they were just letting me know how much they had appreciated the homework. One of the assignments, just kind of get you guys going a little bit. One of the assignments that I had to tackle was the deplatforming of former President Trump. Was it right? Was it wrong? Just strictly dealing with the facts, all the information that's available. I pretty much had to tackle it and approach from that standpoint on whether or not it was a right or wrong move. And the other question to that was, the social media platforms, do they have too much power? The owners behind these social media platforms, do they have too much power? And should it maybe be restricted a bit? Is it a case where maybe the government should really kind of step in and try to regulate these guys more? So it was an interesting two-parter. And if you guys are curious, you want a good read, I've been getting a lot of praise for the editorial piece that I did. This was my first homework assignment, one of many homeworks that I had to do from last week. But if you guys want a good read, I would say about 5, maybe 7 minutes at most, go to the RCWR show.com website, and the article is actually on there. And, because when I was typing it up, I said, shit, why am I just wasting this for this homework assignment? As I was getting so much praise for what I wrote. And I said, well, shit, let me go ahead and put it on the site. So let me know what you guys think. If you get the time out to read that, again, it's on the RCWRshow.com website. So Raw this week, we don't need to put a poll up. Okay, not too shabby of an episode. It was mad. You had a lot of parts that you honestly could have done without. And then you had other parts where, it's kind of like, the main event match between Randy Orton and Edge, I definitely was invested in that. But did you notice how the commentators kept saying, Edge, Orton, for the very last time? And you heard that a couple of times, and then it started to become Edge, Orton, for the final time, right here in the Thunderdome. And you're going, okay, so perhaps for the final time in the Thunderdome, maybe at some point we'll see these guys lock up again. Is it possible? Right. But, you're just kind of just going with the flow. Look, I thought that was a great main event match to close out Raw for this week. It was definitely needed because the show was definitely dragging as far as I was concerned. Look, the opener, I really didn't have a problem with the opener. And really stop and think about it for a second. Raw opens up with Edge. Raw closes out essentially with Edge. Of course, you had Orton incorporated in there, but still, Raw opens with Edge. Raw closes with Edge. I thought that was pretty good. And you know what? I was going to talk about it a little bit later with regards to Edge, but it ties in so perfectly with the talk of tonight's Raw that we can go ahead and segue into it right now. One area that we really didn't get in depth on when we were talking about the Royal Rumble last night was, okay, Edge winning. Good, bad, indifferent. And I tell you what was really fascinating was seeing the comments on social media, and I actually was interacting with quite a few people, even chatting it up with folks in the Discord. And on the one side, you had some people that felt, okay, man, I'm not really sure how I feel about Edge winning this. And you had another side that was going, damn, all right, here we go. Once again, we got some OG that's coming in here, taking the Royal Rumble spot for WrestleMania. And this takes away from the younger cats that been busting their ass pretty much all year round. What does this say about the fact that you got this OG and Edge coming in and winning this? What message does that send to the locker room? Right? So you got that argument. Then you've got another side where it's, hey, Edge won. Hey, all right, awesome. You got people that are still riding that cloud nine of, oh man, Edge is back. Can't believe he's back. Never thought to see him again. Holy shit, he's back. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And of course, the tricep injury took him out. You know, now he's back. Okay, all right, Edge is healthy again. Okay, well, let's see what this guy can do this go round. And then there's another side, the last side to this whole thing, which is the side that goes, you know what? I don't have a problem with Edge winning, so as long as it's a really good, entertaining story arc. So, you may be saying to yourself, all of those arguments that's raised around Edge winning the Rumble, valid points. Lee, what do you make about all of this? Where exactly is your position in all of this? I might have to disqualify myself because I'm a huge Edge fan. Huge Edge fan. Me personally, I just feel that Edge is not actually taking away from the younger stars that's on the roster that's been putting in the time on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. That's just me personally. And here's how I back it up. Just think back to how things were right before Edge went out on that injury. Before he went out on that injury, we pretty much were seeing Edge on regular programming. Edge was pretty much going in there full effect, pretty much. Worst case scenario, maybe we wouldn't see him for like 2 weeks here or whatever like that. But, when you really take a step back and you think about it, this would be my challenge to anybody that kind of feels a bit indifferent about Edge back right now. Not to be long-winded. I would say, look at the number of times Edge has been working for WWE programming, appearances-wise and everything, since he initially came back. Add it all up to now. And I dare say you could make the argument that, well, shit, he's pretty much tied or surpassed the likes of a Brock Lesnar. This isn't going to be one of those type of deals where, okay, we see Edge. All right, he's going to do this spot over here. He's going to be on programming for about 3 weeks. And pretty much out of the whole calendar year, we're only going to see Edge about maybe 20 times. It's not going to be a case like that. So anybody that feels as though Edge is taking away from the... No. If anything, Edge is essentially being the conduit. I think that's a nice way we can put it. He's essentially being the conduit for us old school Attitude Era fans. Well, Edge is... Say what? Edge? Right? And then we're hook, line, sinker. Then you got those casual fans. They're seeing what's going on. Nah, he's basically being that gateway and basically, all right, I'm going to come in. I'm going to set up the table. I'm going to set up the spread. I'm going to have everything nice and laid out. You're going to love the way I lay it all out. And then when it's done, when it's time for people to come in and eat, hey, these people over here, they got the food. They going to handle the food. I'm just going to lay everything out, get the table, get the cloths, get the chairs. I'm just going to set everything up. But these are the people that's going to be actually preparing the food for you all to eat. That's how I look at Edge right now. So, it seems like he's off to a pretty good start, by the way. Let me know what you think. If you agree, disagree, but that's just kind of where I'm coming from right now. So I'm pretty much neutral right now. I don't think it'll hurt. I damn sure don't think that it's going to be a Brock Lesnar deal by any stretch. Again, just look at how things were kind of flowing there right before his injury. And he was pretty much there on a consistent basis. And, Edge has, not for nothing, but he said in interviews pretty much now that he's been back, hey, if I'm going to do this, I'm going at it 120%. I'm putting my all into this, all or nothing at all. So I trust the man on that. So Raw kicking off with Edge. I like that. Drew McIntyre. Oh God, the whole Drew McIntyre. Oh, Edge, you've been a fan of mine. Or rather, I've been a fan of yours for a long time, mate. I gotta tell you, seeing when your career has so prematurely ended, I hurt for you, man. I really did, lad. I hurt for you. Just like the rest of the WWE universe had hurt for you too, man. And then the shocker there last year, seeing your return. Ah, man, it really got me killed, rising in wind. You just got him cutting this, like, okay, this is good, but yeah, dude, you do realize that the person you're facing is the ultimate opportunist, right? Like, this dude's gonna do any and everything possible to come out of WrestleMania with the heavyweight championship. Are you sure you want to go in this direction? With all the people, all the possible opponents you could be facing at WrestleMania, do you actually want to go in this direction? Seriously? So it was nice hearing Edge really ground Drew McIntyre. It's like, look, man, the time for sucking up and blowing smoke up my ass, this ain't the time right now, man, because the hunt is on and you're the prey. Yeah, it's one of those type of deals right now. So the last thing you want to be doing is just, oh, gee willikers, mate, I'm so happy. Like, you came out of there and you won the Royal Rumble. Yeah, I was so happy for you. Yeah, I was hanging out in the back. I had myself a little bit of Arby's and I was watching the monitor while I was watching you there in the Rumble, and you made me proud, mate. It was such a beautiful moment seeing you win the Rumble, understanding the trials and tribulations that you went through, mate. My hat's up. No, we ain't got time for that shit. Like, seriously. So it was nice. It was nice seeing that Edge. Yeah, this might be an Edge that has been humbled because of the time that was taken away from him so prematurely with his injury and everything, and becoming a dad in the process and everything. Okay, so the scopes are a bit different, but this is still that same Edge that when he's stepping into that ring, yeah, he's gonna do any and everything by any means necessary. All right, that's the one thing we all can agree on that have followed the career of Edge and storyline. He truly is the ultimate opportunist. He uses any and everything that is at his disposal. He's got that grit. He's got that tenacity, that never say die attitude and shit. So that was nice to see. And then Sheamus coming out there. You're looking at this and you're going, all right, we're kind of getting the tease there. Maybe it's going to be Drew and Sheamus for the championship, but is it going to be a WrestleMania thing, or is it maybe going to happen a lot sooner than we think? Because the next WWE pay-per-view that's going to be coming up is Elimination Chamber. That's going to be happening on Sunday, February the 21st. But rewind on Saturday, Valentine's Day, Saturday the 14th. There's going to be an NXT TakeOver event. So mark that down on your calendars in case you haven't done it already. Saturday, February 14th, you got the NXT event. And then the very next weekend, on the 21st, you got Elimination Chamber. So, is it safe to say that Drew defends the title against Sheamus at Elimination Chamber? It's very well possible, but my main question, and you know what? You guys got to bear with me a second. I am smelling something kind of weird that's coming in through my air vents here, and I just want to make sure everything is okay. Bear with me one second here. I actually want to get the missus on the phone here. It's very distracting. Hang on here, guys. Get the missus on the phone here. Assuming she picks up. We might not be able to get her. To pick up. There we go. I don't think we got her. No, it's still ringing. All right, we'll try again in a couple of minutes. It's very distracting right now. It's a weird fume. I'm man, you know how it is. Like you smell something and you're like, what the hell is that? And it just keeps nagging your ass to death, and you just won't let up until you finally figure out, okay, what is that smell? And then once you know what the smell is, you're like, oh, okay, cool. And then somehow your senses just pretty much ignore it. Right. So like for the past several minutes, it's weird because the very last thing that I did, I think I'm smelling laundry being washed, but I'm not sure. I mean, my nose is kind of burning right now, so I really don't know what the hell it is there. But anyway, before I was distracted there, I'm sorry about that. Before I was distracted there, yeah, we were talking about Edge and everything. So yeah, Sheamus comes out. He's having some choice words for Edge. Hey, how you gonna cut my man down like that? And Drew McIntyre, he's giving you all this praise and you just throwing it right back in his face. Hey, that's not cool. What's your problem, man? So you see that kind of going on and you're wondering, okay, what exactly are we doing here? And Edge says to McIntyre at least twice, hey, look, you need to realize exactly what's going on here. You have the biggest target that's on your back right now. And you just kind of felt as though with Sheamus being right there, I don't know if that's how it came off to you all that watched tonight, but to me, the way it came off was Edge wanted to say a lot more. And it kind of felt as though Edge really wanted to, let me be perfectly frank here. But for whatever respected reason, he held back purposely. And it was almost one of those type of deals where, well, Drew McIntyre is still very young in his championship reign. He's going to have to learn this the hard way. He may be a 2-time WWE champion now, but he going to have to learn things the hard way here. That's what it felt like, because as soon as Edge pretty much made his exit and everything, one thing that he did say to McIntyre, you'll know my decision very soon. Trust me, you'll definitely know. You'll be among the first to know. I got a lot to process, though, but you remember what I said. You got a target on your back. Sure enough, after Edge makes his exit, McIntyre just continuing to look on puzzled. Wham! Sheamus kicks the hell out of McIntyre. I mean, come on. I mean, we saw this a mile away. It didn't exactly help that we heard in interviews Drew McIntyre wanting to face his best friend at WrestleMania. I mean, we even heard it as recent as on the Stone Cold Broken Skull sessions that he wanted to face his boy in Sheamus. How that would be a nice dream match right there, considering their background, all the years that they've been on the road together and everything. You're like, okay. So, look, I know a lot of people are like, Sheamus and Drew. Look, man, we're about, 68 days away from WrestleMania? I don't think it's as clear-cut as you guys are thinking as far as the whole Sheamus, McIntyre, WrestleMania. Look, I can see Sheamus and McIntyre at Elimination Chamber. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there's going to be a WWE pay-per-view premiering on the, forgive me, I'm drawing a blank right now, on Peacock. Once WWE officially launches on Peacock, what's that, March 18th or whatever, that respective week, there's supposed to be a pay-per-view, the very first WWE/Peacock live event, pay-per-view event on there. I believe it's Fastlane. I believe that's the name. If I'm wrong about that, let me know. But so I could maybe see, to my point, Sheamus and Drew going at it, basically for 2 consecutive pay-per-views. But then after that, it's pretty much going to go on to a different opponent. I could see something like that happening. But guys, gals, I'd be very shocked if a scenario were to occur where, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, essentially for 3 pay-per-views. I'm not seeing that. Let me see if we can get the misses. See if we can get the misses one more time here. My senses is still being distracted by whatever the hell is going on there. Let's see here. And she should still be up because she said she was going to watch the news real quick. Let me see her. All right, I'm going to send her a text. Bear with me a second here. Let's see. Detecting weird smell. Hang on here. I'll just say, can you check it out? I'll say, can you check it out? All right. And hopefully. Then again, you know what? If I could smell it, I bet you she smelled it. And probably the reason why she's not picking up the phone, maybe she went and investigated it. So I'll actually probably know something in a hot minute. So yeah, that was a nice little setup for later on during the night, where Drew McIntyre was interviewed backstage. And he pretty much said to Sheamus, you know, if the 20-something years of friendship at this point is out the window, it means nothing to you, and it's pretty much all about this championship belt that I'm holding, then so be it. I will face you for this title. And it was pretty much left on that type of a cliffhanger, you know. Sheamus right before that, hey, what's going on? You know, why did you do what you did to your pal, Drew McIntyre? As far as Sheamus was concerned, he and Drew, they're no longer friends. So kind of just, yeah, it's a rather stupid story arc that's going on right now when you really stop and think about it. It just makes Sheamus come off so goddamn bipolar when you really stop and think about it. It really does. I mean, on the one hand, I'll give credit as far as where the consistency lies. On the one hand, as far as the consistency goes, hey, Keith Lee tried to warn Drew. You could almost make the argument Edge tried to warn Drew. You know, there's definitely a couple of people that tried to warn Drew, but Drew, no, this is my buddy, this is my mate, blah this, blah that. You know, so you can't help but wonder, where did things exactly, when you're trying to go back and connect the dots, how did we get to this point where Sheamus just kirks the hell out? Because remember, it was Sheamus that gave McIntyre that legendary sword. All right. I like how we got to put the quotations in there. That legendary sword, that historic sword. It was Sheamus that kept hounding McIntyre week in and week out. Hey, remember how we used to tear it up back in the old country? Remember what we were doing as a tag team back in the day? Oh, remember all the great fun that we had? Why don't we do it again? What's up? How about we do it again? Weird shit right there. Every single time Drew McIntyre was having a few words with whoever, Sheamus always feeling the need to interject himself in McIntyre's business. So I'm just trying to understand the correlation. You feel where I'm coming from? And it doesn't quite make any sense right now, because with the way Sheamus was operating up until tonight, you would have thought that Sheamus would have, if anything, you would have thought that Sheamus would have came out tonight and said, hey, Edge, all due respect, you may have a ticket to face Drew at WrestleMania, but, you know, look, I'd be lying my ass off if I didn't say, hey, I care about what's going on with this heavyweight championship. And to that, it sets up Sheamus pretty much going to Drew man to man and saying, fella, I've seen you defend successfully against this person, that person, this person, that person, but yo, I think you know where I'm going with this. What's up? How about you and me for that title? You know, I actually kind of wish that we would have gone more in that direction, and you could still map out your path to Elimination Chamber. Sheamus, McIntyre for the title. McIntyre comes out with the W. McIntyre. All right, I got an update, by the way. Give me a second here. I got an update. Yeah, so apparently she was investigating. She said apparently the smell seems to have gone away. So, just give me a second here. I'll just tweet her out one more thing. And you guys will have my undivided attention here. Yeah, there we go. Cool. All right, so anyway, you feel where I'm coming from? I think that makes, let me know if you agree with that. I think that makes more the sense to go, especially if you're going to have Sheamus eventually flip on McIntyre. I mean, this just, what they did tonight, it really just came off lazy. You feel where I'm coming from? Just totally fucking lazy. considering what all we've been seeing building up over the course of the past several weeks. It just really came off very lazy. It's like, if I were to use a perfect analogy, it's like you're driving down the street in your vehicle and you know that in about 5.2 miles, you're going to have to make a right turn. Well, for some weird reason, rather than you continue to stay the course and go the necessary 5.2 miles until you have to take that turn, instead, in about 0.1 mile, you just decide, I'm going to turn right here. And it's like, okay, you're doing this abrupt turn. I mean, yeah, eventually you got to make a turn. That's going to come naturally, but why are we going so abrupt here? That's how it felt tonight with what we were seeing. Let me know what you think. You agree, disagree? Let me know what you think. By the way, I am able to see what you guys are saying in the chat. I'll definitely pop up the little chat box, but I am seeing what you guys are saying. We're streaming live right now, Twitter, Periscope, Twitch, and on YouTube. So hopefully you guys have been enjoying the show so far. If you have been, you haven't subscribed yet, do subscribe so you don't miss out on all the great content. And hit that like button. It helps tremendously the YouTube algorithm god, so they know as far as content goes what to try to recommend for folks to check out. Thank you for that in advance. So other key points from tonight. Orton. So you guys are probably wondering, Orton and Edge, how exactly did we get to that point again? Randy Orton with his pretty perfect face. I mean, that's just crazy to me. I mean, Randy Orton just shows up at the Royal Rumble just a pretty face. It's pretty. I'm going to start calling him Pretty Boy Orton, right? Just Pretty Boy Orton. And for you guys that don't get it, it's over your head. We just saw this guy with a fucking fireball that was thrown in his face by Alexa Bliss, and now you fucking got Randy Orton with his fucking mask on, doing his Mask of the Opera bullshit. I am now hideous. The fireball would have destroyed my face. It made me really dig deep down inside into the evil spirits and voices that are in my head, and they have comforted me during this time of my grotesque and hideous deformity. You got him doing all that crazy shit, and the next thing you know, we just see this man, we just see this, he looked like Mil Muertes or some shit, and then we see him at the Royal Rumble, and he just, no mask. Pretty Boy Orton. Like, yeah, that fireball and all that worked out pretty good, huh? I mean, damn, that man healed up real fucking quick. I want to know where his fountain of youth is. Seriously. Fucking, whatever serum he's taking, whatever he using, like, we need some of that. There's some legit people that's hurting out there. We need some of that shit. But anyway, Orton pretty much pops up later on in the night. Edge, you continue to overlook me. You continue to look past me. Big mistake. You think you're going to be punching in that ticket from the Royal Rumble to WrestleMania, main event, get the title? No, because I'm going to take you out tonight. So that's pretty much how we got to the main event match for the evening between Orton and Edge, which again was a really good matchup. Alexa Bliss popping up at the tail end, playing her mind games. By the way, that was poor editing on WWE's part. I don't know, for those of you that watch Raw, if you recall, but we see Alexa Bliss sitting on top of the top turnbuckle in the corner, and she's got the whole green freaking licorice Kool-Aid dripping out of her mouth, and you're just going, go, God, watch out for that woman, crazy, looking like she got the little thing going on coming out of her mouth. I don't know if it's semen. I don't think it is. I know a thing or two about semen, but that look like what's coming out of her mouth. Look like something weird. Jesus. And you're like, okay, here we go with the mind games here. What exactly is going on here? And you saw the laziest editing that WWE did here, because you got Alexa Bliss just really selling the moment. And the next thing you know, we see Orton, nice, what's the right word I want to say here? Nice. It wasn't a fadeaway, but it was a cut to Orton. But it felt like a good transitional cut. You hear what I'm talking about? You hear what I'm talking about? But then all of a sudden, wham! Edge connects with a spear. Alexa Bliss has disappeared. 1, 2, 3. And that's pretty much it. Edge rolls out the ring. Raw goes off just like that. I mean, it was a poor ass. I did not like the editing for that sequence. I just didn't. I would have preferred it if Alexa Bliss was continuing to sit on top of that turnbuckle, looking on with glee and everything. And then pretty much the lights go off, come back on, and she's pretty much gone. I would have preferred if it would have went down like that. But yeah, poor piss editing right there. Okay, so obviously, with the way things are looking right now, Edge has, for now, Edge is essentially done with Randy Orton. Randy Orton, although he may have tried to, say to Edge, hey, you're not going to look past me. I'm not finished with you yet. Hey, you know what? Let's put some respect on that. I'm not finished with you yet. Let's really make sure we put some oomph on that. Well, Alexa Bliss obviously was not finished with him. I mean, peep that moment out when Alexa came out and she had her match with Nikki Cross. I know we're kind of going all over the place, but I just feel like tonight we don't need to go the whole ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. I'm only more interested in talking about key points of what I thought was pretty good about Raw tonight before we move on. But peep out the match that she had against Nikki Cross, which, by the way, hearing Nikki Cross out there, Lacey, I don't know what to have anything to do with you. I can't stand you. You don't want to be my friend anymore. I understand that. I don't want to fight you. I don't know what I'm doing here. Lexi, I want nothing to do with you, Lexi. Leave me alone. I just want to do my thing. It's like, okay, well, if you really didn't want to have anything to do with Alexa Bliss, why even accept this match? Why not just come out, grab a microphone, and I mean, I'm sorry, I'm just a stickler for detail. You guys got to forgive me, but for me, I'm looking at that. It would have made more sense for Nikki Cross to come out there. Lexi, hey, I didn't sign up for this match. I don't know who's handling the booking this week, but I don't want nothing to do with you. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to fight you. So enjoy this win by default. See you next week, or, have a nice life, or whatever. I would have preferred that. And then, on the one hand, you could say, okay, all right, so Nikki doesn't want to have anything to do. She wants to have as far distance, good social distance at that, from Bliss as humanly possible. Okay, cool. Man, if you wanted to do your little camera light tricks or whatever and have frickin' Bliss do her thing and essentially drag Cross into the ring and all, I totally would have been down with that. Totally would have been down with that. This isn't coming from a guy that's overanalyzing either. I mean, I'm just in real time. My mind is just, that's just how it is. It's just pop, 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 pop goes my mind. That's just how it is. It's one of my favorite Levert songs too, by the way. Pop, 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 pop goes my mind. I might play that again on the Slow Jamming with Lee special. Friendly reminder, that is going to be dropping. I believe it's going to be our 8th annual Slow Jamming with Lee special. That's going to be coming up. So if you got any dedications, requests for your honey, then you can definitely, Gino, like that Bill Cosby impression. I don't know what's going on, but I tell you this, if you want to get the girl, you want to get into her panties, you do your best to check out Slow Jamming with my man Lee Sanders. He's going to play the great tunes. That's going to make the bitches drop the draws. And, but yeah, you got some dedications, you got some requests and all that. Hit me up. Let me know. I'll gladly hook you guys up for sure. I don't know when I'm going to play that special, though. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it. Midnight. It kind of feels like maybe that's the route I should go. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it that midnight or if it's going to be a case where because knowing my work schedule and the way it's been kind of fluctuating so far, I bet you I'm going to have to work that Saturday. Even though it's Valentine's, I bet you I'm going to have to work. So I can almost promise you that special is probably going to air maybe around 9 or 10 o'clock at night. So as opposed to how I normally would like to have the specials come about, I normally like to have the specials play 12 a.m. Valentine's Day, and then it's just available all day, go pretty much all weekend. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe it'll be a case, maybe I'll pre-record and, maybe I'll do it that way. I don't know. And just upload the special. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. We'll see. I got plenty of time to think about it. But yeah, if you got some dedications, you got some requests, you pretty much got until Friday, February 13th. Oh my God. There's a Friday the 13th coming up, isn't there? Holy shit. Oh, no. No. Sunday the 14th. Where the hell did I get Saturday the 14th of February? Where did I get that from? I'm so sorry, guys. I'm glad I'm looking at the calendar now. How do you guys not correct me on the dates for the calendar, by the way? Come on now. But no, it looks like Valentine's Day is going to be on a Sunday. So actually, I get my wish. So I actually will be able to go live. So what'll probably most likely happen, I'll be live Valentine's Day midnight. And I'll pretty much be doing the special then. So you guys actually got until Saturday, February 13th to turn in your dedications or requests. All right. So, yeah, but I wish Nikki Cross would have approached it from that kind of, in storyline. I wish it would have been booked from that standpoint, but man, that just was lazy. But yeah, you see Alexa Bliss after she pretty much does her laser light show. Clap on, with the lights and shit, plays the mind games. And boom, gets the win over Nikki. You're like, all right, it is what it is, whatever. You see Randy Orton come out. He's ready for his main event match, and he pretty much just cold walked past Alexa Bliss. Like, I mean, that reminded me of like such a powerful scene at the nightclub, It almost kind of had like that Dave Chappelle vibe to it. Dave Chappelle, remember that skit? Dave Chappelle's in the club. And you got this one bitch that's coming up to him trying to get in his face, and Chappelle just puts his hand right in her face, and he just keeps on walking. I mean, it always kind of felt like that. And you got poor Alexa Bliss looking on at Orton like, you're ignoring me. I want to play. You just kind of knew that was going to come back to kick him in the ass. All right, so it's safe to say that now that Edge has pretty much put Orton behind him, now he's going on to, all right, what's going on with Mania? Obviously, McIntyre's a bit tied up there with Sheamus, so that leaves Roman. And when did we start hearing this chatter about Edge and McIntyre? How the hell did that start? Why is everybody trying to see Edge and McIntyre? I'm just trying to really understand that. I mean, look, I think that would be a good match, but no, your real money is with Roman Reigns and Edge. Do you guys not you not see that, or what's going on there? I mean the ultimate heel in Roman Reigns taking on the ultimate opportunist, the ultimate babyface in Edge. That's got a better vibe to it, does it not? Maybe I'm missing something here, but I think it's kind of interesting how there was a nice amount of people. No, it's gonna be Edge and McIntyre at Mania. It was like, okay, I mean, you sure? Like, that doesn't seem like the right trajectory. Like, you sure about that? So, I don't know, guys. That's just the vibe I'm getting. You asked me what I personally want at Mania. I want actually Edge and Roman. I want the battle of the spears, so to speak. But no, that for me would be a very, very intriguing program. And just the great back and forth on the promos that those two men have. Just the promo that Edge can have with Heyman. Shit, I can just, from a mile away, I can just hear Heyman. Edge, I really like you. I do. At one point, as far as a future Paul Heyman guy, hell yeah, I could see you as a Paul Heyman guy. I could just see the nice back and forth between those two. But yeah, just thinking about some other key points from Raw tonight. It was awesome seeing Carlito back in the house again. Carlito teaming up with Jeff Hardy as they took on the team and defeated Elias and I keep wanting to call him Will Riker. Jason Riker. That's how I remember his name usually, because it's like, Riker, Will Riker, Jason Riker. Yeah, Jason Riker. Yeah. But like every time I just see him now, I'm used to calling him Gunner because that was his name in Impact Wrestling, but obviously, he's not in Impact anymore. But yeah, Jason Riker. Good match. I'm so happy that we got a second night in a row of seeing Carlito. I hope that something has been worked out where we're going to be seeing Carlito on a regular basis in the WWE. I mean, you look at that man's physique and that man is just... God, that guy is fucking tearing it up right now. I mean, he looks like money, moves in the ring like money. I bet you he smells like money. I'll let you ladies and some of you boys out there figure out whether or not he tastes like money. But look, if they're able on a serious tip, if they're able to acquire the services on a regular basis of Carlito this go round, you can't fuck this up. Seriously, you can't fuck this up. We pretty much got him out the door the first go round, which is everything that was going on from a creative standpoint, and then also just reaching that point, okay, well, at this juncture, there's really nothing else character-wise. What more is there to do, especially when, you feel you can break that glass ceiling and then some of continued elevation, but you're essentially being shackled into, no, we just want to keep you right here. Yeah, Carlito coming in there this go round, I mean, that guy just... I hate to be so premature with it, but look, for those of you that looked at Carlito and said, God damn, that dude looked like a future world heavyweight champion right there for WWE. If you said that, ain't nothing wrong saying that. Ain't nothing wrong saying that, okay? But as we all have learned the hard way over the years, just because somebody looks like money, it doesn't always mean it is money. But in this particular case, if you're legitimately jumping out there and you're saying, this Carlito dude, this dude could be a world heavyweight champion. Look, nothing wrong saying that. Ain't nothing wrong saying that. Look, I believe in my heart of hearts that, because the little bit I've been able to keep up with Carlito from over the years, I mean, he's been winning world heavyweight titles left and right. Look, he continues doing what he been doing on the independents, just pretty much brings that experience over to the WWE and everything, continues to stay healthy. And that's the other thing that I loved about Carlito too when he was in the WWE, the first rodeo. I mean, you never heard of that guy, never, ever heard of that guy injuring somebody, never, ever heard of him being injured. I mean, his style is, pretty, when you really stop and think about it, it's kind of hard for a guy like Carlito to really fuck himself up where he's out for a hot minute. Yeah, Carlito, he definitely could be a world heavyweight champion. Look, perfect opportunity right now when you really take a step back and you think about it. We still are doing this whole brand split thing. Anything could definitely happen. Anything could definitely happen there. But I was happy to see him back. I'm just thinking if there's anything else we need to talk about that was kind of noteworthy from Raw. Yes, there was probably what I thought was the most stupidest finish to a match tonight. And it had to do with the women. The women were in action tonight, and they had a tag match. Now, for this one, I actually got to pull up my notes. You notice the whole time I haven't been looking down. Yeah, everything's up in here, but there was a women's tag match that I want to refer to. I want to just jog my memory here with the names that were involved. I know Asuka and Charlotte Flair were involved. Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose were also involved. Naomi and Lana were involved. I'll have to rely on you guys. Was that all the tag teams? I'm not even looking at my notes yet. I believe that was all the women in that matchup. We saw the most stupidest finish to this, and it just rubbed me the wrong way. And I just, okay, I'm down with continuing a story arc, but there are smart ways to do it. So let me see if I got this straight. Every single time Charlotte Flair hears her dad's music all of a sudden she's just pretty much, yeah, I mean, she's just literally dropping what the fuck she's doing, and she's just so fixated on, what. I'm like, honey child, you don't got conned by this about 3 times already. Are we really going for number 4 here? Are we really, are we, God, heaven forbid, if you're a driver, because if you're a driver, the least littlest fucking sound that you're here when you're on the fucking road, there's gonna be some serious fucking pile-ups of accidents on your fucking watch. Like, seriously, I just thought, okay, all right, for those of you that didn't see Raw, all right, final moments of this match. Woo! You're like, here come Ric Flair. Here come Ric Flair doing his shit. Okay, here he come. And he's got Lacey Evans coming out with him and everything. And Charlotte Flair, she pretty much, I forgot who the legal opponent was in there, but I remember Asuka did something to them, and then, it felt like it was actually Lana, now that I'm thinking about it. Asuka did something to Lana, she did one of her signature moves, and then Charlotte came in there, she did her signature move, and you're going, okay, this is pretty much over. Asuka, Charlotte, boom. Maybe this is going to put them in a position where they're going to become number 1 contenders for the tag titles. Let's see what happens. Nah, as soon as the Ric Flair music comes on, after she does the natural selection there, she just cold stops in her tracks once again. And it's just fixated on the stage ramp area. I mean, this pretty much had set up the team of freaking, let me go to my notes here, because I remember just feeling so fucking disgusted by this. I left the room. I actually left the room. That's how irritated I was that I saw this bullshit go down here. But the team of, where is it? Give me a second. Where is it? No, that's not what I want. Hang on, guys. I want to say the team of, seemed like Lana and Naomi won. It feels like. But let me look at my notes here one more time. Yeah, the team of Naomi and fucking Lana picked up the W. Yeah, we just see Asuka look on at Charlotte. Hey, what's going on? And Charlotte Flair just pretty much steps out of the ring, tags Asuka. I'm out. I'm out. Peace, bitch. I'm out. And this is the other thing. Charlotte doesn't even storm after Ric Flair and Charlotte and Lacey. She doesn't even storm after them. So it's one thing if you got my blood so damn boiled, I just need to get my hands on you. I'm gonna kick your ass. Come here, and you chase after somebody, right? I remember one of my best friends in high school. I cold clocked him with a cold cut sandwich. You think after I hit him with that cold cut sandwich that I just gingerly walked along, just usual. Hell no, I hauled ass because I knew that motherfucker was going to try to kick my ass if he got his hands on me. So, for me, just, Charlotte, hearing the music, not even going for the cover. It's like, and this was the real kicker. It took them about 7 seconds to come out on top of the stage ramp area. All right, so Charlotte hears the music, like, okay, they ain't out yet. Go get your cover, get your 3 count, then you can focus. I just thought that was laid out so lazy. Attention to detail. That's just me sometimes. I wish, if anything, what would have happened, I wish that when Charlotte did that move where she's just looking on at the stage ramp area, Lana could have just came up from behind, did a roll up. Ooh, near fall. So close. Match continues. Lacey's walking around the ring. She's talking mad fucking shit to Charlotte. Charlotte, Lacey, okay, we get it. This is a feud we've been seeing for a couple of weeks now. We saw how things came about at the Rumble. All right, let's just see tonight Lacey talking mad trash to Charlotte, that Charlotte freaks the hell out. She just kirks out, pretty much abandons her tag partner, doesn't even tag Asuka, just pretty much abandons her, rolls out the ring, chasing the freaking. I would have preferred it if that would have went down. But for me, teach its own, but for me, that was just really how they had set that up there. See. Other than that, I'm looking at the rest of the card for Raw. See. For what it was worth, Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander taking on Lucha House Party for the Raw Tag titles, in which they retain. Okay match, just a little bit too drawn out there, man. Little bit too drawn out. See. Lashley destroying the hell out of Matt Riddle. I enjoyed that one. But, you kind of got the vibe from that one. You kind of got the vibe from that one that all signs seem to indicate we're eventually going to be seeing Matt Riddle, Lashley, Mania for that US title. Yeah, that's what it seems like as far as the writing on the wall. It seems like that's exactly the direction we're going in. Well, but a nice dominating performance there by Lashley. I mean, he cold clock destroyed the hell out of my boy Riddle this week. Other than that, that pretty much key points for me that were of interest from Raw. Okay episode, a lot of parts in there that was meh, but if you stuck around, seemed like the longer you stuck around, you got rewarded, so to speak, in some areas. So decent show. Don't be in a rush. Like if you're asking me straight up, hey, I got it on the DVR. Do I need to break my neck? Nah, don't move heaven and earth. None of that shit. You guys will be all right. Hey, want to shout out some Patreon members. Patreon.com/RCWR show. Check out bonus audio, video content you won't be able to find anywhere else. Shout out to Anthony DeBlasi, Don Tony. Shout out to Gino Morgan. Gino. Shout out to Freddie. Shout out to Justin Ripstock. Shout out to Michael Wolf. Shout out to JD Davis. Shout out to Tony Bing Gaming, one of the very latest in all things Marvel Strike Force, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Marvel's Avengers by Square Enix. For your tips, tricks, news, walkthroughs, and reviews, check out Tony Bing Gaming. He is the man. He's on YouTube. He's got a Patreon paywall as well. So, if you guys saw the thumbnail via YouTube, you guys saw that we have Alexa Bliss with her cute little face, and we got the words right up under it that says Stalker. And I'm not sure how many of you guys are aware of this, but apparently Alexa Bliss has been dealing with a creepy son of a bitch in the form of a stalker. She's been continuing to get harassed by a fan, particularly on Twitter, that's claiming her fiance is a bad guy. And it was really creepy. I'm not going to even mention this guy's handle, but if you guys really want to go out of your way to look at the stuff that he's been saying, feel free to knock yourself out. But one of the tweets that Alexa Bliss put out over the weekend leading up to the Rumble, she said, let me just make sure I'm reading the timeline right here. Yeah, and I am. Sir, once again, for the 1 millionth time, you do not know me. I do not know you. We have never spoken and we have never met. Stop making multiple accounts every time I block you and stop harassing my fiance. I really don't know how much more times, or rather, I really don't know how many more times I can say this. Please move on. Now, this is her response to his comment of this stalker, he actually tagged Alexa's fiance, saying, oh yes, and you forced her to marry you by threatening her and her family. You're the bad guy. I'm the good guy who will do anything for Lexi because I put her first. You only put yourself first. Yeah, one of those type of weirdos. And he followed up on her reply saying, at Alexa Bliss, and I do know you better than you think you like. You're allergic to strawberries. You love to sing and dance. You love video games. You love coffee, pastries. Your mom's name is Angela Kaufman. Your dad's name is Bob Kaufman. I know these things because I do love you. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. No, seriously. Somebody get this man a rubber doll to have sex with ASAP. He needs it badly. I'm trying to understand, how is it that in 2021, when forms of this type of online harassment is going on, why are there not more why isn't there more in place? Why isn't there more ramifications for online harassment and stalking? You know, it's sad that in this day and age, we pretty much, in order to take care of those that are harassing us on social media, you know, online, sending us emails, threats, things of that nature, it's sad that in this day and age, we now have essentially had to resort to doxing somebody, you know, getting a hold of as much personal information as we can of that individual and pretty much fighting fire with fire. You know, it's sad that we now have had to steep to those levels just to correct a situation that these social media platforms do a piss poor job in doing. You know, we can, you know, riddle me this, we can jump so fast to go back to what I said at the top of the show. We can go back to deplatforming the president. But when it comes to somebody being harassed by someone online and they're creating multiple accounts, you know, a simple, okay, this IP address, the technology is there. Oh, this IP address is, oh, okay, well, we can easily just blacklist them and then boom, they'll never be able to, not from that IP address at least. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. It's creepy. It's creepy. Shit like that makes me scared to have a daughter. Sometimes it does. You know, I'm scared to have a child in this world, considering everything that's going on in general. I'm very intimidated, but to welcome a daughter in this world and just thinking about the weird sickos like this individual that's running around. Now, look, if you made your rounds listening to interviews of Alexa Bliss from over the years, you checked out her, what was it, a WWE 24/7 or WWE Chronicle joint that they did on her, and her mom participated, things like that. I'm sorry, but the information that this guy, yeah, I know you. You know, it's no, this is something that every fan would essentially know because she's put that out there. So, you know, it's like one of those, no, you don't really, yeah, I mean, going to this particular creepo's social media page, it is just a dark rabbit hole of what the fuck. I bullshit you not. I cannot recommend it, but if you guys want to, you know, you got like about 15 minutes to spare and you want to dive into some dark, deep shit, have at it. But it's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's crazy that Twitter has not stepped in to ban this guy. And what, you know, whatever other social media platforms he has where he is saying all of these things, and this guy's sick, twisted, warped world in his mind, he believes that Alexa Bliss has professed her love to him and that they are an item, and that, yeah, I mean, that's, you know, this almost reminds you of the creepy stalker that's been doing his thing with Sonya Deville and all that. It almost kind of reminds you of that. You know, one of those ugly, dark reminders of social media, sadly. You know, there's a lot of beautiful things to social media, and then there's some ugly things to social media, and this is kind of one of those moments, you know, where you just go, you know, get help. Like, seriously, like, get some fucking help. Also, I had the opportunity to check out right after I was done with the Royal Rumble post show. By the way, I do appreciate those of you that had went out of your way and you checked out that Royal Rumble post show. I had a lot of fun doing it, and trust me, as far as doing a watch along, I am entertaining the idea of doing one. I think at this point, if I were to do a watch along, maybe I would do something Maybe I would do something Elimination Chamber weekend. Maybe I would do something around then. I might actually entertain. Is it Fastlane in March? I might entertain something in March, but I am playing around with the idea. I am definitely playing around with the idea. But that was fun. It was fun doing the Royal Rumble post show for you guys. If you didn't get a chance to check that out, it is available, webcast version and the audio version, wherever you get your podcasts. So scoop that up. But after I was done with the post show, I did check out the WWE Icons Yokozuna documentary series premiere. I loved it. I loved it. It was funny too, because when the pay-per-view was over, I literally was getting ready to come into the studio here to do the show. And I saw the Yokozuna doc was coming on, and I said to my girl, I said, "Oh, check this out. Trust me, you'll love it." Just what I knew about Yokozuna as a kid growing up. Because I asked her, I said, "Do you remember Yokozuna?" And she said, "Vaguely." I said, "Okay, refresh your memory. Check this out." And I remember after the show was over, the post show, I came back, and she actually had to get up for work in the morning, so she thought. With the way the weather is out here over here in the East Coast in the DMV, luckily she didn't have to go to work because the roads were very slippery and all that. But I remember after the post show, I said to her, "How did you like it?" She said, "It was really, really good." I said, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah, check it out." I'm like, "Okay." So I actually stayed up extra couple of hours, and I had watched the Yokozuna special, and it was nice going down memory lane. I remember from my childhood there of Yokozuna and just seeing him for that very first time and going, "Damn, that's a lot of man." And then I followed it up with, "Oh, he looked like a bad motherfucker," and I'm just like, "Ooh, this is somebody I need to watch. This guy looks like, yeah, he's gonna kick some serious ass." Because I remember when I was growing up, I was a big fan of the heels, always. I was a fan of, so for me, when I was growing up, I was a fan of the Papa Shango, when Sergeant Slaughter went heel, um, Jake the Snake Roberts, of course, Bobby the Brain Heenan doing his thing as a manager and all that, badass, Million Dollar Man, Ted DiBiase, IRS, Erwin R. Shyster, Tugboat, Vader, Undertaker, Kamala. Then when I got to see the old school wrestling, it's like, ooh, Nick Bockwinkel, it's like, list just goes on and on and on. And I remember seeing Yokozuna, I'm going, I like this guy. I could already tell he was bad. I'm like, I'm sold. And he was a sumo wrestler. Like, I've never seen anything like this before. Man, all the people that they had got for Yokozuna's doc, it was kick ass for them to essentially interview the whole Anoa family. That was pretty badass. I love that. I love that. Rikishi included. By the way, sidebar, while we're still talking about the documentary, did anybody else peep out what was going on with the left eye of Rikishi? Go back if you really weren't paying attention. I'm a little bit concerned for Rikishi. I hope that it's actually nothing, but I've seen that once before with somebody's eye many times over the years, and it turns out they need surgery. But for those of you that you saw it and maybe you just kind of glanced over it, Rikishi's left eye had a grayish tint to it compared to his right eye. It was very, very obvious. And I hope that's not a case where he's starting to lose sight in that eye. I don't know if that might be a glaucoma issue or what, but, fingers crossed, hoping that he's okay. If you all remember, how many of you all were fans of the series What's Happening and What's Happening Now? Yeah, you remember Roger, Roger Thomas? After that series and all that ended, definitely way after he was in Malcolm X with Denzel Washington. I would say if you went into maybe the mid 2000s and up, you could see that, hey, his eye is kind of starting to look a little funny there. What's going on there? And eventually he started to pick up a different tint in that eye that, hey, that looks kind of, and it turns out he had cancer in that eye. And now, sadly, by the time he was diagnosed, there wasn't anything that the doctors could do to save the eye. So he's blind in that eye. There's been a lot of instances over the years where I've seen that, and I've said, something's going on with that person's eye. I think they're going to need surgery. And sure enough, bullseye, I'm accurate. I hope I'm wrong with regards to Rikishi, but man, nobody was more deeply impacted by the loss of Yokozuna than Rikishi and Undertaker. To hear Undertaker, yeah, me and Yokozuna, we were boys. I was my best friend. You kind of heard him talk about that, recently, Stone Cold interview and all that. But, to really see it on full display, that was probably one of the other big takeaways was just how much talk time Undertaker was given in reflecting about the life of his dear friend there. But it was nice revisiting my childhood and remembering some of those key feuds. And I love how Vince and crew pretty much embraced what went down during Yokozuna's first WWF championship reign. And you're going, yeah, chat me up a bit. What the fuck happened there? And I remember vividly, at this point, I think, I might have been in my teens by then. I'm not sure, but I remember that pay-per-view, watching it in real time. And I remember Mr. Fuji throwing the fucking powder in Bret Hitman Hart's eyes and pretty much Yokozuna winning that way. And I jumped up and down. I was excited. I'm going, yes, Yokozuna did it. Yes, fuck yeah. Yokozuna's the man. Yes, he's the champion. Yes. And then I freaking see the immortal Hulk Hogan. I'm going, what the hell is he doing here? And I'm just trying to compute what's going on, and this is way before podcasts and dirt sheets were really dominating, and the World Wide Web was still being figured out back then. But you see the Hulkster, and he's just, hey brother, he's going over to Bret Hart. Hey brother, you okay, man? That's kind of fucked up. What happened? And the next thing you know, Fuji and them issue a challenge to the Hulkster. Hey, you want to face my Yokozuna? Come on, get in this ring right now. We'll put the championship on the line. That's how confident we are. We'll beat you. And the next thing you know, Hogan, with his busted up eye, goes in there. They do this match. And somehow, I still can't compute it to this very day, but somehow, the first title reign of Yokozuna ends within seconds after a freaking leg drop. And it's just, and I remember back then when I was watching in real time, I was pissed. I remember throwing something at the TV. I was yelled at, of course, but I remember throwing something at the TV. That's how mad I was that Yokozuna had lost the title. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so to hear Bruce Pritchard and even the Hulkster, it was nice to see that self-accountability come into play. And, hey, was it the right move? Should we have gone on ahead and do what we did there? No, but things had changed that weekend leading up into that pay-per-view. Yokozuna was supposed to come out of it as the champion. He was supposed to have a long title reign. But because the Hulkster was getting ready to leave, we decided, okay, well, we're going to be doing all of these tour dates anyway. It makes all the sense in the world to have Hogan be the champion. That way we can draw more at the gate. And this is essentially a farewell tour for the Hulkster. Knock out two birds with one stone. Besides, we can always come back again, put the belt on Yokozuna, no problem. But, so it was nice to hear, Pritchard, them, even the Hulkster, well, I guess I'm at fault about that, dude. It was nice hearing the Hulkster take self accountability and, well, originally the way it started off, I just thought it'd be a cool idea if I had, went to be by the side of Bret Hitman Hart, and it just pretty much manifested from there. Like, it manifested from there. Really, Hogan? It manifested from there? No. Let's really call this for what it's worth. Come on, damn well you probably did the fucking Hulkster political move.
Well, you know something, brother. Yeah, Yokozuna, he's gonna be the man one day for sure. But dig it. With me on my way out the door, we can draw a lot more money if we have me as the champion right now. You dig it?
I can just picture that whole freaking conversation going on. And you're like, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, that makes all... Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. But, as fun as it was revisiting, just a lot of those, the one thing that was greatly overlooked, if I had one criticism about the whole thing, they just leaped. Tell me if I'm wrong, guys. They leaped over Yokozuna and Lex Luger right down to the point I would have loved to heard Lex Luger, share some of his memories and working with Yokozuna. I mean, they had everybody that you would expect and some pleasant surprises, but Lex Luger was not part of it. And that for me was just kind of, well, I mean, come on, anybody remember the whole Lex Express and all that shit? Anybody remember when Lex Luger and Yokozuna were doing their fucking thing? That for me was just, how do we fly past that? How do we fly past that? WrestleMania 10, Luger, Yokozuna. We're not gonna Yokozuna's body slam challenge. We don't go that route. The Yokozuna body slam challenge. We don't go there. I just was blown. I was blown by, man, the weight problems that Yokozuna was having. I knew it was bad, but I never really knew it had got as out of control as it ended up becoming. I mean, that was just crazy to hear that, legit WWE management, Vince, Bruce, all these guys, they're so concerned about Yokozuna. They love this guy tremendously. They want nothing but the very best for him. And they're like, yo, your weight is blossoming big time. You got to get better control of this. Look, we want you to go to Duke University. They can help you out. They can put you on a really good regimen. They can help you get a better control of your weight so it can actually come back down, give you good nutrition tips and everything. And he turns him down at first. And he's like, I'm going to do this on my own. I can do this by myself. I don't need no help. Thanks, but no thanks. So you see that the end result of that, okay, he's going to go do it by himself. Man gains like 70 more pounds. Like, each time he takes these little hiatuses, he's gaining more weight. And it just got so out of hand that Vince and them, they had no choice but to release him in 1997. They had no choice because he couldn't pass a health medical exam by the New York Athletic Commission. He in 1997, he couldn't pass it. And WWE, it might seem like it was a dirty move, and I'm glad they touched upon that subject in the doc. It may have come off as a dirty move, but they had no choice but to go that route and release him so that they were not held liable. You understand? From a legal standpoint, makes all the sense in the world why they did what they did. And it was great seeing Vince McMahon, hey, we hope that, by doing this, giving him some tough love, if anything, it would show him, hey, we're really serious, we're really concerned about your health and everything. And basically it was understood that, hey, when you're able to get better control of your weight, you lose it, you come on back, there's always going to be a spot here for you. just come back healthier. And he just never freaking did that. You know, his weight blossomed even more. You know, it was really so sad about it. The most saddest moment was seeing a former two-time WWF World Heavyweight Champion in Yokozuna go from sellout crowds, just this massive attraction, to being in a shit rinky-dinky ring in front of like 20 fucking people. That was depressing on so many levels. It really was. But, to then hear him trying to take a negative and turn it into a positive by trying to open up his own little training school and all that, trying to give back to the community, kids that were maybe hanging out with the wrong crowd, giving them a place to come after school. That was good. That was good. For me, when I was growing up, and for people around my age back then, for us, if we were fortunate enough, there was a Boys and Girls Club right around the corner. And if we didn't have a library, we had the Boys and Girls Club, and that was pretty much our refuge from the stuff that was going on in the streets with the drugs, gang violence, and all that. So, it was nice to see how he was trying to give back, loving, devoting father and all that. Just to hear him essentially die alone. Boy, damn sad. And, it's almost kind of like hindsight's 2020. It's almost kind of like he knew something weird was going on there. Dead at the age of 34. Not 24, 34. Dead at the age of 34. Just heartbreaking. Just heartbreaking when you hear that shit, man. It really. But one of the best, well-produced documentaries I've seen to essentially kick off 2021. I hope that WWE entertains the idea of at some point putting this WWE Icons series on DVD and maybe putting in some bonus matches or whatever. I think that'd be pretty cool. Trust me, I'm sure fans would eat up a Yokozuna DVD. I'm sure they would, but check it out. You will not be disappointed. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I also checked out Pat Patterson's My Way. That's another one I highly recommend you guys check out. I was asked by a couple of people, Lee, did they address that controversy with the boys? No, they did not address the controversy with the boys. Never. They just leaped over that motherfucker. But pretty much everything else they did touch upon. You're a fan of the old school wrestling, your wrestlers from yesteryear and all that. Go out your way. That's another one I definitely recommend you check out. But get the tissues ready for that Yokozuna doc, because that one, I gotta tell you, I felt very teary-eyed by the end of that special. Legit, my eyes legit were watering by the end of it. That ain't no punk ass talk or anything like that. It's just, it starts off, you're on this great fun roller coaster, seeing how this young man, this young boy developed into a young man. He grew up really quick, in the sport of professional wrestling and everything, and just everything that was coming his way. Always humble, always gracious, never let the stardom, the limelights, he never let it get to his head. He was the same freaking person. Yeah, and that was the one thing that just kept being hammered home over and over again. Really cool story in there where Rikishi talked about how he wasn't making the type of money that Yoko was making, but he had bought this new home, and long story short, he pretty much didn't have no gas, no heat. And Yokozuna pretty much cut him a blank check. He signed it, but pretty much gave Rikishi the blank check and was like, do whatever you got to do. And man, you just see Rikishi start watering up big time over that. And you're like, wow. All of us, if we're fortunate, we've got that one friend that, is like that, was like Yokozuna, or is like Yokozuna, where shit hits the fan and we really need, they're there for us, like no questions asked or whatever. But yeah, check it out. Check it out when you guys get a chance. Good stuff. You guys won't be disappointed. Let's see. Also, definitely want to switch it up just a little bit. Rest in peace to Screech, the actor known as Screech from Saved by the Bell. Dustin Diamond, he had passed away tragically at the age of 44. If you guys recall, it was about less than 3 weeks ago. He had revealed that he basically was battling a form of cancer, and he pretty much, it's weird too, because he went into the hospital complaining about how his body was hurting all over, and yeah, he was dealing with a rare form of cancer that, essentially spread it real quick, and he passed away at the age of 44. Quite sad. Quite fucking sad. That really hit close to home for me because 44, that's when he died. I just turned 40, right? And it also hit me from this standpoint. Everybody has their favorites from Saved by the Bell, but for me, I always gravitated towards Screech because when I was growing up, all I ever wanted was to be accepted by my peers. All I ever wanted was to be respected by my peers. I wanted for girls to like me. And I'm still a geek to this day but now geek is the new cool apparently. Which is, it's really nice, but way back when I was growing up, especially being a black kid, right? Being a black kid growing up in the ghetto, and you're into some quirky stuff, like you're into rock music, while all the other black kids are into rap and hip hop. Like, what the fuck, So, always getting picked on, getting bullied, and just wanting to be accepted. Hey, just accept me for who I am. I accept you for who you are. It should be vice versa. I had enough common sense to know what was going on with me as a kid going into my teenagers. I had enough common sense to know this isn't right. So, Saved by the Bell, I always gravitated towards Screech. And yeah, we saw a little bit of heckling that was going on for Screech and everything, but those friends that he had there, they had accepted him. He was part of that circle, and in a way, those of us that have our own Screech stories, we definitely envied what was going on there with that Screech character. So we gravitated all towards him. Much like how we all gravitated towards Steve Urkel on Family Matters, much like that. So, it was great seeing him be involved in the Saved by the Bell reboots and everything. But I tell you what, man, when the porn video had came out, he denied that it was him that was having sex with the actresses. But to just see the way media just latched on over that when he got involved with celebrity boxing, and you just go back and you look at the salacious tabloids that was being put out back then and everything. They ended up really not being too kind to Dustin in his years post Saved by the Bell. And that's the truth. That's God's honest truth. But hopefully, the family had said that he wasn't in pain anymore, that he's pretty much he's okay, and he's off in a better place. But they said that the way it had metastasized and the way it just pretty much had affected his organs and all that, they pretty much were like, he did go peacefully. So you hear that, you go, well, that's comforting to know. You also take comfort knowing that, well, at least he passed squashing whatever beef was going on there with Mario Lopez, because he wrote in an autobiography some salacious stories, and then he turns around and says that, it wasn't true. I was just doing this just to make a quick buck. Okay, sure, whatever, dude. But he squashed it. For those of you curious, no, he is not involved. As far as I know, nothing was filmed of him in the new Saved by the Bell reboot. Kind of weird when you think about that, but the fact that no olive branch was given to him, so we think. Gonna have to leave that up to the producers and them, to disclose whether or not they actually did try to reach out to him or not. But the way it's being reported right now, he was not given an invitation whatsoever to have anything to do with the Saved by the Bell reboot. So, you hear that and you're like, okay. And look, if you follow your pro wrestling, then you all know that there was some time back in the 2000s where he had did some stuff for Memphis Championship Wrestling. And he also had a run on Hogan's Championship Wrestling. What was that, in the mid 2000s on CMT, what's that, Country Music Television Network or whatever that is. So not for nothing, but yeah, this is definitely a guy that was a big fan of the wrestling business in his own respected right. Other than that, I'm feeling pretty good. I am keeping track of time. I'm just feeling pretty good. I can give you guys a couple of more minutes, but I like the fact that 90 minutes, we're pretty much good to go. One last thing that I want to touch upon here with you guys tonight. I don't know how many of you guys heard about this, but in some music news, Marilyn Manson was recently dropped by his record label after abuse allegations came out. His record label, Luma Visa Recordings, they announced the split after several women, including Evan Rachel Wood, accused him of abuse. And in a statement, Luma Vista wrote, in light of today's disturbing allegations by Ethan Rachel Wood and other women naming Marilyn Manson as their abuser, Luma Vista will cease to further promote his current album effective immediately. Due to these concerning developments, we have also decided to not work with Marilyn Manson on any future projects. Manson began working with Luma Vista for his 2015 The Pale Emperor, fantastic fucking album. That album to me was equivalent of Mechanical Animals. I love Mechanical Animals. By the way, in case you all were not aware, Mechanical Animals is a concept album. If you don't believe me on that, there's an infamous appearance Marilyn Manson gave on that classic episode of VH1 Classics, That Metal Show. And Eddie Trunk and again, they were interviewing Marilyn, and Eddie said, look, I wonder if you could debunk a rumor or whatever. Mechanical Animals, was it not a concept album? He's like, I'm listening to each track and, lyrically, and Marilyn confirmed that it was in fact a concept album. So, but yeah, that the Pale Emperor album, yeah, that for me was like Mechanical Animals 2, so to speak. But anyway, yeah, inking a deal that allowed the musician to retain the rights to his music while Luma Vista would distribute it. The arrangement remains similar on Manson's next two albums, 2017's Heaven Upside Down and last year's We Are Chaos, with Manson retaining the copyright while granting Luma Vista an exclusive license. So that is pretty much where we are right now. Also, Luma Vista's decision to drop Manson came just hours after Wood released her statement on Instagram Monday morning, February 1st. In the post, she accused Manson, real name Brian Warner, of grooming her when she was a teenager and horrifically abusing me for years, quote, end quote. She continued, I was brainwashed and manipulated into submission. I am done living in fear of retaliation, slander, or blackmail. I am here to expose this dangerous man and call out the many industries that have enabled him before he ruins more lives. I stand with the many victims who will no longer be silent. Following Wood's post, several more women came forward with similar stories about Manson. Sarah McNeely claimed Manson threw her up against a wall and threatened to hit her with a baseball bat, adding that she suffers from mental health issues and PTSD. Another woman named Gabriella alleged that Manson would tie her up, rape her, and forced her to take drugs that were more than her body could handle. Ashley Morgan accused Manson of abuse, sexual violence, physical violence, and coercion. So that's where we are right now with what's going on with Marilyn Manson there. Look, I'm always quick to tell you guys, let's follow the evidence. Let's follow all the facts before we jump to conclusion and everything, because, that we do have a judicial system, and that's how we need to operate here. This feels very just 2 cents from a distance. Keeping what I just said in mind, let's see what happens. Go into court and all that. Let's see what happens. But 2 cents from a distance, with these amount of victims that are coming forward, it's safe to say that some shit was going on. It's safe to say that. This doesn't feel like the whole thing with what was the guy from Talking Dead? I can't think of his name right now. The guy that hosts Talking Dead, Chris Hardwick. This isn't, See, the shit that went down with Chris Hardwick, that was just with one individual. You didn't hear of any other females that had came forward. If anything, former girlfriends, parents of the girls that Chris Hardwick was dating came forward and no, class act, treated our daughter, And then as series of text messages had showed, transcript records and all that showed, this girl dumped Chris Hardwick because she was cheating on him. And he pretty much, hey, look, you're going in this direction. I think it's best if we just go ahead and we break up and everything. So that pretty much had got real quick. This, this feels like a metal rock version, if you will, of the shit that went down with Bill Cosby, if you will. So I don't think this is going to end well for Marilyn Manson. And at 52 years of age, his musical career as he knows it, it's probably going to go in the shitter. If he is even thinking about having a future in releasing music, he's going to have to do it on his own record label, on his own site, on his own fucking dime, when it's all said and done. In this day and age that we're in now with social media and everything, all these movements that's running around, nobody is going to want to have anything to do with this. Look at what went down there with R. Kelly. It's a good prime example. So, this is literally, this has the makings of those things that I just touched upon. So continue to watch this very closely. I'm very curious what the Eddie Trunks and them have to say, because, these guys are real quick to say, that's my buddy, I was hanging out, I remember years back when I had interviewed Eddie Trunk, and this was still when that metal show was active. And I remember when I had him on the show, we were actually talking about his, I don't have the book in front of me. But basically it was his volume 2 encyclopedia of all things hard rock and metal, where he basically was going down the list of his favorite bands and all that. And somehow there was a Marilyn Manson story we had touched upon, and you got to check it out. But I just remember like, oh, okay. It's like, damn, thinking, who isn't Eddie Trunk friends with? Like, seriously. So I'm most curious what they have to say about this whole thing. I'm most curious. But yeah, continue to pay attention to that one. I know I definitely will. Other than that, I think we did good, guys. I think we did good. So this show is pretty much an hour 40. Went a lot longer than anticipated. Still a short show. Long as it's nowhere near 2 hours, I'm happy that we can do this. All right, so quick programming note. I'm going to be giving you guys another show, Impact Showdown. I will be recording sometime Tuesday night into Wednesday, so that will be happening. And then I'll be back with you guys this Wednesday after NXT and AEW goes off the air for a new RCWR show. So check that out. Yes, back on Wednesday yet again. So check that out. That's going to be good. And then that's pretty much it. I'll be able to enjoy the rest of the week after that. So, meantime, be kind, rewind. Check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads. And as you make your exit, especially those of you that's checking out the webcast version, make sure you hit the like button. Helps out a ton. You can get at me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use keywords the RCWR show. Appreciate all you guys that we're tuning in live for this episode. It means a lot. Appreciate the love and support as always. To those of you that made it this far and you're checking out the show on demand and on the downloads, much love as always. Appreciate the support. Again, get at me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use keywords the RCWR show. Wait on the audio version of this. I'll have it be available for you guys not till Tuesday night. So enjoy the webcast version for now. That's going to be up on Twitch, Periscope, Twitter, and on YouTube. All right. Much love for those of you that's going to be continuing to deal with snow. Be safe out there. If you don't have to be out there on the roads, please stay off the roads. Let your local government do what they need to do with those snow trucks. Take care of those roads. Just if you can help, just stay away. It's not worth it. Check up on your neighbors as well. And I can't stress this enough. Check up on any stray animals that you're aware of in the neighborhood. For the longest time, I had a stray cat for the past couple of weeks that was always meowing in my backyard. And finally, over the weekend, my girl said, "Hey, the cat's back." I'm like, we've never seen the cat. We've just always heard it meowing. And I was asking my friends, "Hey, how do you lure a stray cat into the house?" And they gave me tips and all that. So I finally went out to my backyard and I tried to lure the cat in. I actually physically saw the cat with my own two eyes. We made eye contact and everything. And the cat, I mean, there was at least about 4 inches of snow on the ground at this point. Because the snow had began Saturday. Made eye contact with the cat. I kept calling it. I was being very nice to it. And eventually the cat just decided, after hiding in the bush for about 2 minutes, the cat decided to come out, looked at me yet again, and then hopped over my fence and disappeared. It's like, okay, well, you know what? I tried to do my good Samaritan deed. The cat just pretty much said, "Fuck you, man." I'm like, okay, hey, I'm good. I'm good. So, but yeah, if you're aware of some stray animals that's in your neighborhood, try to see if, you might be able to somehow lure them in, help them out. And if you're a little bit kind of, I don't really know if I want to lure them in the house, the next best thing you can do is just have a nice little emergency shelter set up side of your home. Nice little shelter, blankets, stuff like that. Put a little food in there and all that. That'll suffice. That's what I was trying to do, but yeah, it wasn't taking the apple on that one. So look out for those stray animals, though. All right, till next go round, wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I'll see y'all next go round. Y'all do take care. Adios.